Hey, what's happening, everybody? Ask Jesse answer time. Great questions as always, and let's get right to it. And before I do that, let me just remind you that if your question doesn't get answered today, that doesn't mean I don't like the question. It's not anything personal. It's just that I really only have time for two. So if your question doesn't get answered and you want to get it asked again, please keep asking it, and I will eventually get to it. All right? Question number one comes from Natasha Hall, and Natasha says, how do you stay focused and carry on when everything seems to be falling apart and nothing is happening the way you hoped and expected? So the first thing I do, Natasha, is I get out of generalizations. Generalizations are going to be one of the biggest obstacles to success and overcoming adversity that there are. When we start to say things like everything, nothing, always, whatever, those generalizations, it makes it sound like the world is literally collapsing in on us. And nothing could be further from the truth. The world's still spinning, the sky hasn't fallen, water still runs from the sink when you turn it on, and pizza still tastes like pizza, right? So we have to keep things in perspective. We don't have to, but if we want to be successful at moving past it, we need to. We absolutely need to. So it's crucial to keep things in perspective and then get really serious and specific about what exactly it seems is falling apart. It's not everything, and nothing is happening the way it's hoped. It's a few things. Because if really everything and nothing was happening, you wouldn't be breathing, you wouldn't be able to type, you wouldn't have submitted that, I wouldn't be able to read your question. I would try to read it, and if everything was going wrong, it would come out something like that, right? But that's not happening. I'm able to read it, so there are some things that are still going right, and the world is still carrying on as it should. So we have to keep things in context. We got to get away from generalizations. If you want to make some switches with how things are going on, you got to get past generalizations. That is going to be one of the biggest obstacles to success because it's impossible to deal with everything at once. However, it is completely possible to deal with one or two key things. And if you address those one or two key things and get out of the way of the everythings and the nothings, you'll be able to figure out what you need to do. So my best advice to you is this. Get away from generalizations and get really specific on what is wrong, and at the same time, get really specific on at least 3 things to every one wrong thing that are right. So if there's 5 wrong things, you need to come up with 15, maybe even 20 things that are right. And I promise you can. If you can breathe, if you can see, if you can type, if you have internet to work, you have electricity to power the internet, if you have a chair to sit in, a roof over your head, you have food in your refrigerator, you have water in your shower, if you have clothes on your body, there's a heck of a lot of things right there that are going right that a lot of people don't. So we have to keep things in perspective, okay? Question number 2 comes to us from Jane Bielski Farin. Jane, I apologize if I mispronounced your name. And Jane asks, how do you walk away and move on into doing your own things? It's, again, this goes back to specificity. What are you walking away from? And what are those things? You guys, generalizations are going to be one of the biggest obstacles we have in anything, whether it's relationships, whether it's health, whether it's wealth, whether it's our own personal development. We have to get away from generalizations. We have to get away from generalizations. So my question to you, Jane, would be, how do you walk away from, what do you want to walk away from specifically, and what things do you want to do? What things do you want to do? And are those things that you want to do something that you need to walk away from what you're currently doing to do those things? And if you do, are those things that you want to do worth walking away from what you're currently doing? Okay? Ask yourself those questions and give yourself really specific answers, and I think you'll be able to find a path for you to travel on. Okay? You gotta be specific. If it's always going to be about things and which way to go and not knowing which your options are, you're always going to be confused, and it's going to be a challenge. Get past the everything and the things and the generalizations, and you'll get some specific goals you can focus on and some specific pros and cons or alternatives you can weigh things against. You can't do that if it's generalized. All right? So for everybody, the big key takeaway from today is this. Get specific and get away from generalizations. If you hear yourself saying everything, always, those kinds of words, you are setting yourself up for a heck of a hard time that does not need to be that way. Okay? Get specific. And if you get specific, you can keep things in context. And at the same time, as you're getting specific about the things that need to change, make sure you take some time to be really specific about all the good things that are happening, because there's a lot of them, And the acknowledgement of those and appreciation of them will help you keep things in perspective. All right? That's all I got for this week. Again, if your question didn't get answered, please ask it again. This coming week, I put the post up every Friday about 9 a.m. Pacific time. And I want to try to get to everybody's questions. If you found value in this, again, please share it with your friends, your family members, coworkers, whoever you think would benefit of it. It just helps me get my message out, and it's going to help them, improve and better their life. I'd love to hear what you guys think. I always enjoy reading the comments, so please leave one below. You guys are great about liking it, so I don't need to remind you to do that. And again, I love doing these Ask Jesse segments. I hope you all enjoy them, and I look forward to doing one again next week. All right, guys, take care, and I'll talk to you soon.